I'm on my way to the gym this morning, and I wanted to record the sort of the download, the realization that I had this morning. I was meditating. I was listening to nice music, and I had this question in my mind about what I'm doing with workshops, and I have so many ideas. I have so many things I want to do, and I seem to sometimes be slow at actually getting one of them going. I like organizing and that sort of thing. And anyway, the bottom line is I was like, well, who am I? I don't feel like I'm an expert really at anything. And I love I love what Deer Tribe always says when I go to an event or a retreat workshop that they do. It's like, don't believe anything that we say. You have to experience and do the thing physically and get your own knowing. And I just realized what I am. I'm not an expert at I don't feel like I'm an expert, like the know-all of anything in particular. But I have this desire to share all of this stuff with people that I've studied Tantra, but I don't want to just focus on Tantra, and I've studied all these different modalities, and I just want to share it. And I realize what I am is a facilitator. And what facilitator means is that I am making it easier for a person to have their own experience. I'm creating a safe space. I'm setting up the scenario. I'm setting up the way for somebody to maybe learn something new, and then they do their own healing. I'm facilitating that. In Spanish, the word fácil means easy, and I see facilitator as making it easy or easier for somebody to get whatever they're wanting to get. Because I sit here and I go, well, I can try to teach somebody this, I can teach somebody that, and I realize that each person who comes to an event or to a workshop is in their own place. Nobody's in the same place on their path, and they have this different backgrounds, and their traumas, and their this and their that, and how can I address all of that? And I just finally have realized that that's who I am. I am a facilitator. I make it fácil. And that's really who I've been all my life. It's like the business that I started back in 1984, the music business. I started making karaoke. I loved music, and I was majoring in vocal performance. And there was nothing to sing to back then. I had to hire a piano player to play for me if I wanted to perform. And I always wanted to sing with a band, and I'd had a band at one time, but that was my focus, was my vocal stuff. But I loved all the instruments. I could never focus on just one. I played saxophone, and I loved playing saxophone, but then I liked playing guitar, and so I played a little guitar, and then I played some piano, and and I played some drums, but I never really chose one and focused on it, so I was never an expert at any of them. But what I became an expert at was being a producer, a facilitator, really. So because I enjoyed a wide spectrum of music and instruments, when it came time for me to start this business, I was able, because making karaoke music is what we would do, we'd bring all the musicians together into a recording studio, and we would recreate popular songs and make them sound as close to the original as we could. And we get licensing to do that and all of that. But because I could have been an expert drummer, and that's what I would know. But because I enjoyed all of it and dabbled in all of it, I was able to bring these musicians together, and I could hear all the different instruments in a song. I could pick out every little thing that needed to be there, all the subtleties, and I could, I'd arrange for the the studio, and eventually had my own studio, and I'd arrange for all the right musicians to come together, and all the different aspects of this I facilitated. And so being a producer was my jam, and I've had that business for 35 years, and still is my income. So that's who I am. I'm finally realizing I'm a producer, I'm a facilitator, and that's okay. So what I'm realizing is that my role is, yes, to have content, yes, to bring ideas and things to teach, and yet in the end it's the individual who is doing their work, who is doing their own healing, who is figuring it out. And all I'm doing is I'm creating an opportunity for each person to find their own way, and so I'm that facilitator. I don't know, maybe it's a little thing, but for me it's a huge awareness, what my place is, and that I don't have to be an expert at every single thing, and that I can bring things, but I always worried about, well, I just don't know enough, and there's never enough knowing, and anyway, all of that. So that's what I wanted to say. That's kind of who I am. Not kind of, that's who I am. I am a facilitator, and I just realized that, and it's sinking in, and I can go with that and make stuff happen. Okay, bye.